is. They're already warming up, so you got to run that bump.
Okay. I appear to have lost court audio.
Okay.
I have a backup in case I need it, but I will try and fix that.
Okay. Oh, another match point.
Incredible third set here.
They changed their strategy a little bit and they fought their way back in.
There it is. Game, set, and match. Hello and welcome to the 2024-25 APTA Tour. We're live from the Short Hills Club in Short Hills, New Jersey, bringing you the Short Hills Invitational, with live streaming brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsors, Volley and Corient. Tournament support has been provided by the following local sponsors: JP Morgan Private Bank, Maple Crest Ford Lincoln of Union, Master Athletics, Spiro Harrison and Nelson, New Jersey Men's Platform Tennis Association, Club Pilates, Paper Ribbon and Wrap, Center Court Padel, Suzanne Emmerich of Keller Williams Premier Properties, T-Spa, and New Jersey Flex League. I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Denise Murphy, bringing you women's semifinal round action between our number 1 seeds of Burus and Elliott and our number 3 seeds of Morgan and Sikora. Denise, welcome.
Thanks so much, Brad. I'm excited to be here with you calling this exciting match. Ironically, Brad, it's kind of interesting. The number 1 seeds are also number 1 in the country.
Ironically, yes.
Yeah, and then Macy Elliott, who we have in the forecourt with a cream-colored hat and black jacket, and then her partner, Lynn Burus, in the blue jacket on the left-hand side of the screen. And across from us, the 3 seeds, who happen to be the 3rd team in the country right now, is Allison Morgan on the right side in the purple coat, and then her partner, Charlotte Sikora, in the gray jacket on her left. They're still in the process of the warm-up, but these 2 teams are no strangers to each other. And, you know, Allison Morgan and Sikora have been successful one time against this team, and I'm sure there's a lot of notes being taken and thinking about strategies and different things to implement, but looking forward to a great match today.
Yeah, as you mentioned before, Denise, you know, Morgan and Sikora actually beat them earlier in the year at Boston Open. The only blip actually on the Burus Elliott resume for this season. They're undefeated except for that one match that they lost to these guys early. So Morgan and Sikora have the ability to take down a giant. You know, they're the 3rd seed here for a reason. And, you know, Charlotte Sikora hits the ball off both wings, can blitz, is a great volleyer. And Allison Morgan is one of the quickest players on the tour, who's developing more blitz offense and driving the ball more from the backcourt than she has in the past. They've been looking to experiment. And Burus and Elliott, they've just found a way to win, except for that one time against these guys early in the season. Whether they're playing their best or not, they've kind of found that gear that, you know, if all things are going, they have tremendous offense. You know, Burus forehand is huge. Elliott's got great backhand and a forehand drive. And these guys are incredibly athletic. But if they don't have their A game where they're missing their shots, they have no problem downshifting into not missing and grinding out a match. And they did that in their last win, you know, in Boston. They were, I wouldn't say it was their A-plus game, but they found a way to win 7-6 in the 3rd against Anish Zagori. We're having a hands full in the other semi-final match on our other live streaming court. So it should be a good one. again, it's 2 out of 3 sets, regular scoring. Our umpire in the chair, Carol Edwardson, and it's perfect night out there. The party scene actually at Short Hills Club is pretty par none. You can see the courts in between, just lined with spectators. That's in between the courts, and around the outside, all the sponsors have, local tents, and it's just a great scene out here. They got music playing here. We'll pump in on the court so it doesn't interfere, but you step just 5 feet off the court, and you got music going and a great atmosphere out here, and it's a perfect night for paddle, Denise.
Brad, I'm taking a little pause here. I can't, having trouble with technical difficulties here. I will be right back.
Sounds good. All right, well, Denise works that out. I'll just go on a little soliloquy here. So, as we were talking about before, Burus and Elliott, to all of you out there, these guys are basically undefeated on the season. They have the most challenging serves in the game. They're hitting their overhand serves. Occasionally they'll go into a mode where faults do come into play, but it makes them difficult because you don't get the return bump for a lot of teams. They're also their ability to transition back and move different styles. Sikora and Morgan basically have the same skill set, just not quite the same weapons. Sikora hits the ball off both wings very strongly, and well, Morgan has weapons, but she uses her speed to develop them more. So the matchup today, I'm going to find for these guys, no one's been able to find the place to really hit the ball against, Burus and Elliott with consistent, like you can't just dump it down the middle. They can hit forehands or backhands. You can't just place it, into the side screen one after another. They'll stay steady. So the issue for them is to just manage their window, to make sure they're controlling the points the way they want to. I think the secret to cracking the code in some respects is learning how to judiciously lob up and deep and be able to consistently place your ball left, then right, until you get the opening, and then you just take your quick strikes. But they're very good at transitioning back.
100%. Brad, I am back.
You are.
I didn't mean to leave you there, buddy.
No, I totally understand. It usually takes a little longer for somebody to want to get a break from me, but it took you all of like a minute and a half. And,
I had major FOMO, okay? I was like, I got to get back with Brad.
Fear of missing out overweighing your fear of actually doing the commentary with me. Well, that's good. But welcome back, Denise. Glad your technical difficulties we're managed here by our super producing team. Gil, having a good day?
Yes. So at the risk of saying perhaps other things that you had just mentioned, it's just incredible. We've got the number one top team in the country, Burus and Elliott, and against the third team in the country, Morgan and Sikora. Both teams obviously total vets. They've played a lot of tournaments together for years, incredibly successful. Lynn Burus, two-time national champ with Macy Elliott in 23 and 24, and Macy Elliott, of course, winning 3 national champs. The first one being in 2020 with Marcela Rodesno, and then with Burus. So, and Allison and Charlotte are always in the hunt. They've made it, I believe, to the semifinals of at least every tournament they've played in this season, with 2 wins. One just being last weekend. At Birchwood, the Birchwood Open. So,
yeah, did you have a chance to see that one, Denise?
Oh yeah, I was on
Your neck of
site.
the
It was
woods?
a great tournament that Allison and Adam Morgan put on at their home club. They're both co-directors at Birchwood Country Club in Highland Park, Illinois. Fantastic job. There's so many fans came out to cheer. The energy was electric. It was just a really, really fun tournament and a great display of talent. So hats off to Allison and Adam putting that on, and all the volunteers and clubs who helped make it possible, because we couldn't do it without them. Say with the Short Hills here, how many different sites are involved in making this happen, and how many volunteers working long hours of organizing prior or just making sure things run smoothly the day of. So thank you. It takes a village.
It does indeed, and the tour director here, Brian Skinner, has his team at the Short Hills Invitational, and they've done a great job, as well as all our able APTA staff, Jackie Cameron, Dee Haber, and Waldron, Karen DeJedlick, helping out with the live stream, the score, the tournaments. And it's a great crew. Director here, Chris Humphreys, also weighing in, just played in our quarterfinal match. So the big key I want to see in this match is interesting is how Morgan and Sikora are going to attack this. They're going to be dumping the ball down the middle. I expect them to come out swinging and then try to manage the pace based on how their results are. Like we said, there's been no way to really fully crack the code for a full three-setter against them, but they're the only team that's done it, so they can draw on that. And as we get started here, we got Lynn Burus starting us off. And we talked about they have incredibly challenging serves, but there are faulting times that happen for Burus and Elliott. But the thing that their challenging serves do is they give their opponents less drive opportunities off the return, which is such a big opportunity that some teams can feast on.
Absolutely. It's interesting with Morgan Sikora, Brad, is that, they started off, obviously, Sikora's in the deuce, Morgan's in the ad. I guarantee you, second set, they'll probably switch it up, regardless if they win it or lose. They just are equally proficient in both sides and really believe in and giving their opponents a different look, have them recalibrate their targets perhaps.
Yeah, it's never a bad idea to throw in different looks. I mean, if you're doing something well, it's very rare that a team changes. And what you're bringing up really, Denise, is more a commitment of these guys to, they're not just playing tournaments and focused on results. They're doing a long journey. Sikora has this camp called Racket Odyssey, and it's sort of the way she approaches her paddle career even. It's sort of like this Odyssean kind of, Odysseus traveling the world. Like she's really trying to, so it's a commitment to playing a certain strategy where they're like, even if we won that first set, we're going to switch it up anyway because this is something we're doing and working on. They don't consider they're a final product by any means.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's a great take by Morgan from the ad side. To your point, Brad, Lynn Burus definitely has one of the best, if not the best serve in the game. So tough.
Great spot.
It's a really good pressure drive by Sikora coming in behind that, not stopping and hitting, just really letting your momentum flow through. It's tough volley to navigate. I like how they quickly organized Brad at the net. Elliott quickly slid over to the right. Burus is in the primary overhead position. Tough net cord by Morgan.
Couple there. Some good fortune for those guys. And just for you viewers out there, if you're wondering why there's no court audio or it's very low, we're working on that at this time. So you're not hearing a lot of sound out there. You might be like, these guys are playing really quiet. They're so calm that, this must be a new kind of court where all bounce sound is gone. It's not the case. We're just working on some audio issues here with our live stream. So you're going to have to be content with just our voices for the moment.
Beautiful voices, Brad.
Well, I don't want to boast, but
I like those probing drives just there by Sikora, not hitting it full out, just enough to pull them in a little bit. Them meaning Elliott, Burus. Nice.
Yeah, that backhand wing is the stronger side of Sikora, though she's got a very good forehand as well. Yeah, that movement of making Sikora move, that's a great lob that time, has been a tactic that they will use. And because you get her moving, if there's a weakness in her game, I wouldn't call it a weakness because she moves well, but it's chasing down the hard fastballs that are exploding away from her. Allison Morgan will cover once in a while, so they will use the hard overhead. There is the danger, though, if you don't do it well, that the ball hangs and then she just tomahawks a drive at you. And there you see you're picking away with beautiful volleys and great drives with spots. Yeah.
Great pressure by Sikora, just keeping those feet moving, shoulders forward. That's a great blitz. We'll be seeing a lot of that and from both teams this match, Brad. Just capitalizing on their partners' great shots and moving in.
All right, so first break point here for Morgan and Sikora. Yeah, they're doing a good job kind of mixing in, sprinkling in high percentage off-pace drives. And they're not designed to win. They're designed to just keep creating movement in the net team and let them know they can't just hang back off there. Nice cut off there.
Really nice. And I loved how Elliott moved towards the center strap when she went for that, not parallel with the net. Really great movement.
Yep, and it just puts her in the path of the ball, and that's most of the thing. You know, a lot of players, when they first start, they trying to get away from the ball or outside of where the ball's going to be. You really just need to move your body and your paddle just into the path as you're up there at the net, and that's your whole idea. To stay in front of that ball so they have nowhere to get it around you. Court is small enough to do that to a reasonable degree. That's just a great off-pace drive, but a nice volley from Burus.
Oh, Sikora is there.
Yeah, perfectly played. This is a terrific point. This is exactly the one they want, and there's the hard overhead that we were talking about, Denise. Perfect time for it. She gets the short one. They've moved in, and she's back in the box. Watch her position. She's way back, so they go hard. Now it's going to explode off. She's got to choose between a really tough block or a ball exploding away from her, and she just can't catch up to it. It's a great shot.
Yeah. Burus just did a great job of hitting that so deep. The deeper you hit up one of those big rollers, the less time you have to react, bottom line. All right.
It was a good blitz move, but Morgan went for a feast or famine type volley there. She was actually trying to frame it into Burus's body. Goes hard, but misses her, and now we got game point here for Burus and Elliott. Oh, look at that close. Ooh!
Oh.
Yeah, she didn't get that spike. She tried to hit a waterfall over her head, and it got up into the hitting window of Sikora. And they were standing there and taking it. A lot of people transitioned back there, but they were hoping on this result there. You could see Elliott jumping back and away, but good hold there from Burus Elliott. I like the way the game was played from Sikora and Morgan. Just didn't execute a couple at the end.
I did too. They were good, solid points. I didn't feel like there was any of the four players are rushing any shots or making poor choices. It's a solid first game. Looks like Sikora will be taking us out in the second game, serving. Such a good partner. She's grabbed Morgan's paddle to hand it to her.
That's very good. That's excellent partnership. That goes above and beyond. She's carefully making sure it's not misplaced. She's got it for her. She's not going to have to bend down, pick it up. And I would expect actually nothing less from Charlotte Sikora. She is a person of that quality. So
yes.
And she really is, actually. She's delightful.
No,
and
she's
win or
amazing.
lose, she continues her journey. She's all smiles after she wins and all smiles after she loses. She just gets back to the drawing board and continues on her paddle journey.
All right, so Allison Morgan took us out in the second game and served to Macy Elliott in the deuce side.
I find Allison Morgan to be one of the best technical volleyers on the women's side. She's just right in front of the ball. Beautiful backhand volley, good hands. You can see Sikora using her height to try to hit waterfalls. Go ahead, Denise.
Yes, no, I was going to say, back to Morgan comment on the volley, she just has an uncanny ability to be balanced. I mean, her positioning and her foundation is always just so solid, and as a result, her hands are so quiet. So I couldn't agree with you more. It's a great get by Sikora.
There's the heavy roller, and you
The
see
big
Morgan.
ball.
I mean, Sikora just took a swipe at that. She had already kind of in her mind decided the odds of me chasing it down are not as good as the odds of me just one-timing it. And, so she made that decision early. We've seen that play a few times now. We talked about it in the beginning. It's going to be a play they're going to keep using. And it is something that can be effective against Sikora because she has such great backcourt offense. Hitting the hard roller is a really good play because it just makes her chase where she gets a little more off balance.
Yeah. I mean, and both Burus and Elliott have such phenomenal rollers. They just get so much rotation on the ball. And typically, they're able to strike that roller so low. So it's not only big and with a ton of spin, but it's low and deep, which is really hard to navigate. Makes you question, do I let go of the screen, to your point? Do I block it? Do I let it go? And if you're thinking about it, the ball's behind you and running to the door.
Yeah, it's moving too fast for a lot of thought. Yep. And then we have just a waterfall from a deep position there and a couple of break points now. A little bit of errors there from Morgan Sikora. But a really solid game. And you could see there were 2 or 3 moments there where Burus and Elliott had drive opportunities, specifically Elliott. And she passed them up for another lob. I think that's great because it's just, right now, it's committed to keep moving them out of position. Waterfalls. Right at the crease, well played. And you can see Elliott get right up on the line there, and her partner's going to the middle. If you can watch the player hitting the ball, but also take a moment to watch the player on the side and see how they position themselves to look to cover and play other eventualities like the ball going into the nick, things of that nature.
Yeah, both teams are just moving in unison with their partner. They get pulled to the left, the other one's coming left. The deeper the lob, the closer the partner at the net is getting to potentially defend against the drive. They're just balancing each other beautifully.
All right, so 2 love now for Burus and Elliott, and that's a quintessentially perfect paddle point, meaning they lobbed great, 0 bad choices, kept the lobs to the service line beyond till they got to the point where they got the easy drive and the player off the net, take it in there in transition, and Morgan had that shot, just missed it down the line. So, she's got it. They're making her come up with the shot in a tough moment. That time she's not able to. Break goes to Burus Elliott.
Okay, Macy Elliott to serve.
And
Charlotte Sikora returning.
Start with the heavy off, overhand serve. And when it doesn't work, she goes immediately to a push low serve, right? Where she pushes it and gets her right leg coming into the court immediately. She's right on the edge of the court there. There's the heavy. And she also hits that heavy serve that's not so easy to drive.
Yeah.
A little bit of
ball.
Cut there from Burus. She kind of carved it down and under. Morgan did not see that underspin there. And the ball
I like how
died.
Elliott, though, I know she sometimes mixes up just because a serve's not working, but I've also seen that big serve working, and then she just throws in that low kind of push serve. And that can, unless you're expecting it, that can be like just that contrast of pace and spin can be a little unsettling for the returning team.
Yeah, it's different looks, and she has no problem going between them. And she'll even within the course of a match decide early on for tactical reasons, I'm going to hit the hard serve to the deuce side. But on the ad side, I'm going to hit the low push. And she'll just do that because she believes that the person, just a few too many errors right now coming out of the, Sikora and Morgan camp. The hard overhead they haven't been able to deal with. There was a rush drive. So all the drives they're taking, they're just a little off balance, out of sync. And as a consequence, they're getting mistakes. Let's move with the dink. But she doesn't have advantage. So if you're volleying up to the other team, you could see that Burus takes the offensive volley there. 3 love now.
Yeah, Morgan Sikora have to find a way to slow this down. And you mentioned earlier how Macy Elliott was getting looks but passed and lobbed. I feel Morgan Sikora need to do that same exact thing and just get their groove, lengthen out the points, and get a little get more picky on the balls they decide to drive.
Yeah, I think they just got to make better choices, and then they got to start thinking right away, instantly, how they're going to deal with the hard overhead, you know. And you can see the use. A lot of club players get taught early on to, as the ball goes deep, you know, just push the ball back down the middle, establish your position back at the net, and that's absolutely a big part of the game. But you can see how these guys use a hard overhead to open up the court, and then they also just move somebody out of position. And there, you know, once they get them out of position, they tighten up the net and look to volley behind. And if you're doing it right, you're getting the guy to chase it, not to be up there with an easy drive where they're hitting it, they're chasing, they're on the run, the full stretch to get it. And that is tough for people to make the drive.
I think Moore and Sikora are a little unsettled, and I'm confident they'll find it. But right now, yeah, they're making some uncharacteristic errors. But obviously, the Burus and Elliott's.
Yeah, they're playing super
they're
solid.
Forcing. They're not giving them anything right now.
They're giving them nothing. They're applying pressure. They're making all the right choices.
Yes.
They're not really doing anything out of this world. They're just, look at that, though. That's just how it's a return
that's
at the
the
feet.
value of the blitz.
And with the blitz behind, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard enough to make that first volley coming from Burus and then at the corner of your eye you see Elliott coming. That's a tough ball.
You know, they had a similar match like this at Nationals last year, and Morgan and Sikora came back to play a second set after losing, you know, convincingly in the first set. And they got Burus and Elliott. They ended up losing the set something like 6-4, but there was a moment in there where you could see Burus and Elliott, they had lost their rhythm a little. They had started playing longer points. They started to grind. They just didn't execute in a couple of big moments. But they had them thinking about it. They have the ability to adapt and change what's going on there. They've beaten them once before in the year. They know all that. Right now, they just got to, you know, tighten this game up, make better choices. You know, just like your parents told you, Denise, when you were a kid, make good choices, right? I'm sure that they probably never had to tell you anything. You're the golden child, Denise.
Oh, yeah. I was, of course, the favorite, Brad. Come on.
Of course, Denise, as you are out here.
I was 1 of 5 in 6 years, and yeah, for sure I was the favorite.
They remember child. You were like, who are you again?
Yeah, exactly.
right.
I'm just another blonde kid running around.
All right, so 4 love and 30 love here in this game for Morgan and Sikora. So they just got to get their first game under their belt. The match doesn't really start until that moment. Good roller right at the crease.
I like the tempo shift, though. They're not, you know, they're purposely placing their overheads, mixing up the paces, mixing up the targets, but Sikora and Morgan, I like this point. Oh, wow.
That was a good leave there from Allison Morgan. Her position is good. It's higher than her shoulder. She knows that it's so hard. Even if it's in, she can go back in 2 steps. So you see where that ball bounced the second time? It actually came beyond the service line, 1-2 steps back. So anytime your opponent is loading up like that, letting the ball go is a good play often. And one of the differences between, you know, reaching and more advanced players, learning how to not volley certain balls, to let them go. You don't have to force it. She tried a little tricky little sidewinder drive there.
It's a great shot by Burus and Sikora. Great defense.
There's the blitz. Oh!
Nice. It's a good look.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my caveat on it. She should be moving forward and in, like looking for it. She's standing completely still and in the same spot from start to finish. That's the type of ball that you should be. You're trying to jump the route on that and get it on the way up. You should be moving into it, you know. And she's just standing there, and that's to me why she missed it. Otherwise, I'd give her the, you know, if she missed it, I'd be like, good move. You know, she was looking for it. She got it there. When you're staying way back, to me, it's more. It's playing you more than you're playing it.
Yep. One step would have done wonders on that, but she anticipated. I feel like she anticipated well. She got the ball she wanted. She just didn't execute properly. Burus has got such a great waterfall there. That down up angle. All right, this is when if you're Morgan Sikora, you want to convert this point
you
here,
got
this
to.
game.
You got to. Oh, tough. Back to deuce. All right, here we go.
But to your point, Brad, it's the same. The foot. I would like to see that right foot step in inside that blue, and it didn't break the baseline there.
Hey, you can hear just a whisper of the music in the backcourt there on the last.
Yeah.
You cannot hear any of the court sound, but you can hear the Gil. Hey, Gil, what's going on with the court sound, Gil?
I wish I could be of more assistance, but unfortunately, a disaster happened on the court, and,
Oh.
the court is sealed, and we
Court
cannot go.
disaster. Cannot go near it.
We could pause all the action and make our engineer run in there and squirrel around with the wires, but
No, we don't want to pause the action. It's too good.
The action is too good. No, and honestly, the other part is these guys do an amazing job. They set up their equipment, and there are so many people walking in and behind. In some ways, they probably should cordon that stuff off. I'm going to make a statement here that Gil is off the hook.
Yeah. All right, big point again.
At least that's what I'm going to say when he's in earshot, you know. But as soon as he walks away, Gil, you're toast.
Oh, little miscommunication.
Yeah, and it leads
That's
to
a way to
that.
capitalize on that.
Perfect
Both
job.
players
They
being pulled
needed
off the
that.
net. Yep. All right, a little word, Brad, from one of our tournament sponsors, Volley. Looking to lower your PTI? The secret's out. Early adopters are already leveling up with Volley's AI-powered trainers, and they're leaving the competition behind. Don't get left in the dust. Download Volley now at www.getvolley.com or search Volley Racket in your Apple Store.
Yeah, so much of everything, so much of every game is and every match you're going to play is capitalizing on your opponent's mistakes, right? And those are your moments to make things happen. Burus and Elliott have rode this wave, a few too many choices and missed balls, and they've played solid game. And there, Morgan Sikora put together some better points, but also you see even in that last one, they have the confusion. When the confusion happens and Burus isn't going to play that ball, her best play now is to transition back and just play it off the back. But instead, she kind of stays in the midcourt and goes for the ball. And it's just these little moments that are going to spur the comeback for, Morgan Sikora. They're going to tighten their ship up, and hopefully they get an error or two. And no team, including Burus and Elliott, is immune to making mistakes, right? And
yes,
when they do, you just have to capitalize. The thing that Burus and Elliott have just been so good at is not letting those moments happen too long. When they notice that they're going into a kind of a mini spiral, they start to bring it back and tighten it up. They'll start playing longer points, and they'll start, just trying to make sure they're not giving you the games. It's one of the things they do better than most teams, actually. They also just do a really good job of sort of, reading the moments in the match, so they have no problem dialing it back to different spots.
Yeah, no, Burus and Elliott, they're masters of, I feel like, the strategery, and if they've lost the first set, I would put my money on them that they would come back and win the second, because they just to your point, Brad, they make amazing adjustments on the fly. Their awareness of patterns of what's hurting them, what's not, and just totally changing either the tempo of the game or their targets or their spin or paces. They just make adjustments that really keep the opponents off balance.
Yeah, and those guys honestly believe, and they have lost plenty of sets this year. It's not like they haven't lost a set, and they've lost a number of first sets, actually. Quite a few. In their last couple of tournaments, they lost a couple of first sets, and then they just go. But then they usually go on to win like 2-2, right? It didn't have, doesn't always happen. But they make they right their ship, and then they go on to sort of steamroll. They also believe in their own heads, like that they have that confidence of a champion, right? You know, they know that they're the best team in the country. Not only are they seeded first, but they believe it, right? And
Yep.
so when they're down, they honestly believe most of the time that they're down or they've lost a set. It's not because their opponents are just playing better than them. It's they're doing it to themselves. Now we
Yep.
just have to manage ourselves. It makes it so much easier because they're not always having to fully just play their opponents, right? They're less to manage for them. They think they can do it, you know, so they have this sort of aura of a champion and confidence of a champion, which is well deserved for them. I mean, look at that backhand there. Now there's just a quick forehand with the blitz. All right, Morgan can get that, but not this time.
Oh. Such great setup. Awesome pressure by Burus, just capitalizing on that just monster backhand by Elliott.
Yeah, they're just
So
sticking
good.
balls. And I'm not sure they shouldn't be dialing his back to slow it down a little. You know, right now, also, these guys know, Morgan and Sikora, that they're just not playing a great set. Like, Sikora's going to have to drive better regardless, you know, like in the next set. But she's also can be a little more judicious with the choices. She's missed a lot of the takes, whether they've been good or bad, that she's taken this match. And the team doesn't go if Sikora's drive doesn't go. All right, it's a new
I
ball.
like how Morgan Sikora just took a little time here. All right, so we have Macy Elliott taking us out with her partner Lynn Burus at the net. Charlotte Sikora returning, and her partner Allison Morgan is at the baseline in the purple sweatshirt.
A great return, great half volley there from Elliott.
Really nice. Great lobs by Morgan, just being super patient. Staying tight to that baseline, looking for opportunities if they present themselves. But otherwise, just really putting up solid lobs. That's going to be tough. Great dig by Sikora.
Good stick
That's a nice
there.
point. They need to build on that one.
Absolutely, and that's her ball. I mean, it's a perfect backhand drive. We've seen Sikora make it 100 times, but that ball was right in the wheelhouse. She's moving into it.
Moving into it.
All the pieces are working.
That's the key.
There's the hard over it, but she read that before it even happened. You see how she got up the line
She
instantly.
moved, yep. She moved to her right. Sikora moved over to the
anticipation.
side green, and
I have not seen a lot of it. I'm surprised more people don't do this right now. The one thing I really haven't seen a ton of yet from Burus and Elliott is when they go set up for the roller, they tend to hit the hard roller. They don't actually generally hit like this off-pace sort of like slippery roller from behind. You know, back in the day, you could see Vicky Stoklasova do that a little bit, Hall of Famer. But so she's smart. When she gets to that grip and turns it over, start moving up the line a little bit.
Yep.
And see if she can hit the soft roller behind her. I haven't seen her do it much at all, to be honest. You know, just don't let her catch you back there, you know, sticking it right at you. Just missing it. All right.
but
that
to
was
your
a
point,
40
look where
love shot.
Sikora's- But look where she's standing. She moved parallel to the net, and I think it was a good choice. It's just that I would love to see her get low and step into that ball. That backhand is that's an imposing pressure drive that the result is like couldn't be any different.
Yeah, no,
Plus the net team, they don't
she
really
forced
have
her
much
into
time.
a tough exchange there. It was
Yes.
good play.
And of course, I mean, Elliott and Burus did a fantastic job volleying.
Yeah, they're such good volleyers. They might be the best
Yeah.
volleying team in the country. All right, there's a break of serve. So 5-2 now.
That was a much better game. I mean, that's just a random miss hit by Burus. You won't see her miss that one again like that.
Yeah, we may, but it's going to be few and far between.
Yeah.
And you know, so quick note on our other streaming court. Lopez and Page took the first set against Hanish and Zabori 6-2, and they're up 3-2 in the second. So good match for them. And those guys.
Wait,
Lopez-
who's up 3-2? Page and Lopez?
Yep.
Okay.
Page and Lopez won
Thank
the
you.
first set 6-2, and they're up 3-2. And those guys have been knocking on the door. They're good.
Oh, yeah. I called a match of theirs earlier this year and just did the one earlier. Every time they play, they're just getting better and better. I mean, Paige, who's the newer one on the scene, she's just, I mean, she's primed and ready. There's no like rookie at anything. She's established herself as a top player, and they have taken collectively as a top team. Great ball, good pressure move again, flying in.
Oh yeah, they have all the ingredients. They have weapons. They volley well. They got backcourt offense. She's got actually probably one of the best cutters in the game, Lopez, on the women's side. And they're tough, tenacious competitors. They're athletic. They can transition back. It's really just been kind of moments for them, but it's always right. It's just really, you're waiting for them to break through. It's coming, right?
Yes.
And they've had some wins, but right now they're kind of like in that position that we see a lot of, all-time great players go through when they are kind of still newish. Just the wrong shot at the wrong time, either too passive or too aggressive, right? And they're just managing all that because they really do have all the ingredients.
Nice pressure by Burus coming in on Elliott's awesome drives. Sikora and Morgan did a great job with their volleys, kind of keeping Burus made her retreat on that blitz. I'm not sure was that ball out, Brad, or did she just?
I'm not sure actually. I'm kind of waiting
It's hard
for
to see. It was
the
so
umpire.
close.
It looked out to me.
Oh yeah, Allison called it out, so I didn't see.
Yeah, it looked
her,
out to me. So it's 15-all.
Okay.
Oh, what hands!
I like how both of them started peeling on that because Elliott was coming forward fairly aggressively to get that big overhead. Smart play.
And she's just hammering the ball at that crease, and she gets her to reach, right? And that's the thing right now. The hard overheads have definitely been making a difference. See that perfect close there. She's able to cut that one off and make a drive of it, but even that doesn't help her because they know it's coming right on that net.
Well, it would almost be a ball because she's looking to cut off to just let that go, and Morgan's going to be there for her.
Ooh, just in.
Wow.
Yeah, a little touch foul. That's right at the crease. Yep, there it is. Great shot from Sikora. It's a 30-all on a big overhead there. Oh, what a huge drive. Way to transition
nice ball
back.
by Elliott.
That's an offensive volley because she's reading it. Now, that's a problem, but you do not want to drop Allison Morgan if she knows it's coming. But they're relying on their hands. They volley so well. That's great. So our first set point now for Burus and Elliott.
Yep, Elliott and Burus are just playing very, very smart, keeping the pressure on, making high percentage choices, and their execution rate is through the roof. And as a result, they're up set point.
Good strike there. A quick switch as she comes across. Beautifully done. Waterfall at the crease, making her think about it.
I like the little hop.
You down with that?
Trying to make contact a little bit.
To get a little more height?
Yeah, a little more height, a little more pop on the down up.
Sort of a half committal forehand that time from Burus. She's shrugging it off. Back, we're at deuce.
Again, Morgan's just so quiet there. That return from Elliott.
Yeah, that forehand has been on fire. She's doing well, and they don't break their position. And they, sometimes you expect your opponents to bail. They just stand there, and then she loads up her backhand more to go for more to hit it harder. She just doesn't execute. So sometimes the position itself can kind of threaten the team. There are times to bail, and it's sort of like you're taking your chances, actually. I love this play. She doesn't come in, screen drive. Oh, just a full run going in.
Yep. But I agree. I like that staying back, letting the down the line ball just run. So if she wants to let it go to the screen, Brad, it'll be a true bounce out, much easier to navigate than staying back on the cross court, where the ball could potentially get tangled up in that corner, and then it's tough.
Yeah, it's interesting the way they're doing it. I would think if they want Sikora to hit all those balls there and hit waterfalls that they would switch at the net.
Yes.
But it's kind of like they have Sikora move left all the time to take these overheads. And I would think they would just switch.
Yeah, Sikora typically is on the left and Morgan is on the right. But again, this could just be one of, hey, well, let's give them a different look. Or not quite sure why they're doing this, but I like the length of these points a lot.
Great point.
Very patient. I like she's being has a lot of intention behind her targets right now. And as a result, they just look more settled in.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Morgan and Sikora.
Yeah, powerful word, intention. It's so important to be intentional with the balls you want, or even the strategy. You can see there's no forcing going on, though, from Burus and Elliott. They are just playing. There have been 3 or 4 moments where I thought they're going to start blitzing, but they're actually waiting for just the ball they want. Like there were a couple of times where and you've seen there's just been slightly more forcing. What great touch there from Morgan.
Great ball.
So solid, these guys. That's out. And a great hold there from Morgan and Sikora. Keep this at 5-3. Make them serve it out. That's big.
Really good play. I like Sikora staying back. On those, again, letting that ball run. You don't know how it could be just inches out, which that one was, and B, just with the temperatures. I mean, it's not frigid cold there. The ball is going to come off the screen. You have a better chance to let that ball run and take it off the screen than to force a volley with a big penetrating drive coming at you.
Yeah, all great points, Denise. That is a good lesson for all the club players out there. All right, so Lynn Burus trying to serve out this first set, and Morgan and Sikora just doing what they do. They're hanging around. They're starting to tighten their game up a little bit. They started out kind of down 4-love, I believe, right? And before they got their first game. And since then, they've kind of had the moment. They've gotten a couple of errors, missed that one. And they're still not quite firing on all cylinders, but they're battling and making it a match.
Yeah, they just, Morgan and Sikora look more relaxed now. They've definitely settled in. And as a result, they've tightened this up.
That sort of looked long to me. All right, confirmed by the umpire, 15-30.
Such a big serve by Burus, again, forcing Allison to kind of hit a little lob.
Yeah, I expect these guys are really going to bear down here, actually, now, Denise. If I'm Morgan and Sikora, this feels like there's a moment here. 15-30, how massive is this point, right? We've been clawing back. We were down 4-love. Let's take this break, put some scoreboard pressure on them. This set is, for Morgan and Sikora, if the other guys lose, if Burus and Elliott lose, it's a massive deal. If they lose, they kind of were supposed to lose, and we battled our way back. So it's all sort of on the upside. Let's just make these guys feel this, right? See,
Yeah.
and there you see her not going for the big drive on the back end.
Yeah,
She's just
I
hitting
like that
the
a lot.
3/4 that she knows she's
Yep.
not going to miss. She's going to take the bigger one later, but right now she's making them feel it,
Oh boy.
right? Feel the pressure of this moment. And Allison Morgan just, I mean, she's just locking it down. She's not even
Lock
looking
it
to
down.
drive except for like a push little shot at them at this moment.
No, but yeah, I think it's all based on she's just content, just continuing to pop up a quality lob, and that was a really good point by all 4 players, but really important point for Morgan Sikora.
Yeah, big moment.
They're just slowing down and making better choices, and as a result, because of their patience, they're they're getting more picky, and with what shots, their execution rate is going up when they choose the drive.
Yeah, and Burus and Elliott, they got to be feeling a little of this. Up 4-love. Then it's 4-1. Then it's all of a sudden, like it's creeping. They're hanging around. It's the best way, they're making these guys continue to play. They're not giving it to them. They're just working these points. And you can see here just the way she's driving now that's a beautifully placed lob there for Morgan.
Yeah.
They're going to a level of kind of 3/4 drives that they're going to make these guys work. And you notice now when they start feeling it, they're not going to start hitting more rollers. They're going to start slowing this down. Big miss there. Do not think that was the ball. And I don't think it was on brand for the other points they were playing, but they had one to play with, so.
Yep.
Still another break point. Because we were saying in the beginning, too, they were getting roller winners, right? They were going to speed overheads.
Yes.
The speed overheads feel great when you're front running. When you're not front running, there's risks to them, right? You overhit it and they get an easy drive. You do things where you're moving around. I think she faulted that. We can't hear the umpire, but I think it's confirmed, or is it deuce? What do we got here? All right, so we got a little thing where there's an overrule here. I think it was called out, and I think it was overruled. Because if she's
too close for my eyes to see from
but
my vantage
clearly
point.
it says deuce on the scorecard, which is
Yep,
coming
yep.
directly from the umpire. So that was an out call by Allison Morgan, or Charlotte Sikora. We don't really know, but and it was questioned and confirmed. It was called end by the umpire. So big, huge moment on a break point. They don't even get to play it.
Yeah.
That's a good look. Oh, beauty. Good hands
That's
there.
what's good about having the Brad, is that especially with a Burus serve, that ball's coming so fast. We're all humans. We can miss things, and that's why they're there. So kudos to Carol for calling it the way she saw it.
Yeah, it's a tough job to do, too. You just got to go, call it early, and play it the way you see it. And absolutely kudos to Carol Overton. That's a great lob.
Love Elliott. Just slides way right to give Burus lots of room to make that difficult overhead.
Yeah, she did, and then she got all the way back to make that volley because she played the next drive cross court. Well played. Here comes the heavy.
I thought that was going cross court, Brad.
She did. She kind of
My
pulled it
eyes
inside.
tracked that to Allison. I'm like, and there's no ball there.
If you're smart, you don't go hard overheads at Allison Morgan. It actually feeds her
Yeah.
game. No, you really don't. She tracks
No,
nose
I
down
know.
better than almost anyone. Gosh, what a couple of turns of events here, and you see Sikora kicking that ball over. It's got to sting the point before, getting your out call, overruled, and then she misses the drive, a little level of frustration. She's got to have a short memory, get back to it. So it's set point now for Burus and Elliott. Yeah, but you don't want to go hard overheads at Allison Morgan. It fuels her game to be running and chasing a ball. When she's in movement like that, that's when she's best. There they create the movements of Sikora. They secure that first set 6-3. All right, so congratulations to Burus and Elliott, and we'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by Joho.
At Volley, we build tools to unlock your potential. The new Volley PTI feature breaks down your game like never before. Ever wondered, which partner has impacted my PTI the most? What's our win percentage as the favorite or underdog? Do I perform differently in 2 or 3 set matches? Now, it's all at your fingertips. The PTI tool is free to everyone. Download the Volley app today and level up your game. We'll see you on the court.
Want to see how Volley can transform training at your club? We've got a great offer for you. Gather 30 of your club friends and you'll get a free 30-day trial of Volley. Experience firsthand how Volley's trainer can help everyone improve. Increase reps and track your progress, all while training smarter. Don't miss out. Visit getvolley.com and unlock your club's full potential with a 30-day free trial.
All right, welcome back to the APTA Tour, and we're here at the Short Hills Invitational. All right, in Short Hills, New Jersey, with this women's semifinal round action between our number 1 and number 3 seeds, where Burus and Elliott took the first set 6-3. It's a good set, Denise. Any thoughts?
I mean, I think Morgan and Sikora maybe came out a little flat, and that combined with Burus and Elliott just coming out, just making very few errors and applied a lot of pressure. But then Sikora and Morgan kind of settled in. They caught their stride. The amount of errors were significantly reduced. They slowed down the pace of their drives, mixed up their overheads, and as a result, they were right there. I mean,
yeah, multi-break points to get it to 5-4 and put some scoreboard pressure on those guys. That's an unwise cut.
I would say the first half of the first set was completely different than the second half, and I'm hoping, just because these are two such phenomenal teams, that Morgan and Sikora continue to catch their stride and close the gap between them and Burus and Elliott. But Burus and Elliott, they're phenomenal competitors, players, people, and it just that was just a great first set by them. And that's the thing, that the margin of error, Brad, when you're playing a team that makes very few, if every error or mistake or misposition or whatever counts, because they make you pay for it. There's no getting away with mistakes or anything. So we'll see how this goes. Allison Morgan serving. Macy Elliott just returned.
Yeah, let's talk about the brand they want to play there, though. So in that last point, you see Sikora hitting a drive, and she's got an amazing backhand drive. That's no question. But she's hitting it, moving back and away. And then Elliott reads it. She moves in, she gives volleys short, and the point ends with a winning volley. They've got to stay to the pattern where they're moving into the ball. They're not hitting these shots just on the run or other things. And Sikora's just got to find her spot, because the offense runs through her, right? It runs through her ability to drive.
Yes.
But she's got to do it at just the right spots. I think when they, really since the 4-love lead, it's been just a dead even heat. And the way they lost that second set, a little tough. They have a break point, they call a serve out, it gets overruled, and you can see the frustration, and the next ball, Sikora misses a drive, and then boom, the set's over. So it's, there's a frustrating way to lose that set, because they were working their way back into it. They get that game, they apply just a totally different set of pressures if they're able to get it to 5-4, know. And so it's a tough way to lose it. And there she's reading it right away. She gets up there, still overplays that just a little. That's the one shot that, there's a vulnerability there, good use of it. So a break for Burus and Elliott right off the bat. But they started to do it the right way. They just got to keep it on the right brand, because you mentioned something before, their margin for winning, and not just theirs, anyone's margin for winning this year against Burus and Elliott has been very small, meaning you have less mistakes you can make, because those guys are just so solid, right?
Yeah.
You have to be equally solid, right?
Yes.
Because you don't. The margin for winning is just less. Period. And that's sort of the benefit of also becoming a champion too.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so Hanish Sabori on the doorstep against Lopez and Page. They're down 5-3 in the second set. And we've been talking about the breakthroughs for Lopez and Page, and this certainly could be one. I mean, they have to be in the conversation for a team that could, clearly Burus and Elliott is your number one, but they're right there. They are right there.
Yeah. I think these 4 teams right here are knocking on the door of that title.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, certainly Burus and Elliott, everybody winning 5 tournaments on the year. Hannes Sabori have won 2. And you got to put in like a wild card, like a Cruz and Nicolescu, not Cruz, a Nicolescu and Anika, if Anika's able to play, nationals. They played these guys really tough in Boston. In fact, those guys, they gritted it out. They didn't beat, Nicolescu and Anika. They were pressed. And what they did is just grind. They made it so they just didn't allow themselves to lose against them. But it was a great matchup.
Absolutely. So, Brad, going back to what we said, let's just start this match. As you can see, Sikora's moved back over to the ad side, and Morgan is on the deuce side.
Yep.
Again, what does that mean? It's just perhaps that Elliott and Burus need to recalibrate where their targets are, where the safe spots are in the court, and put it there more often. Where are the danger spots now, and they need to make those adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Sikora hits her backhand. Her drive weight on the backhand is significantly higher than the forehand. She will hit the forehand, but she likes the backhand, so you got to be careful. The middle become much more in play. You could literally dump the ball down the middle all day long. The problem is, Allison Morgan will just keep blocking back those lobs until she gets the right kind of ball. Morgan, funny enough, has she made a bad shot yet or a bad choice?
No, she's so super solid. But her backhand, Morgan's backhand in the middle, that's her favorite shot. So, but she's also incredibly picky. Wow, great hustle by Elliott. What the heck?
That's insane. Great run.
Great rundown. Just so much control. It's not just getting there, Brad, as you know, it's like controlling the ball. You have so much momentum behind you. Fantastic effort. Great point.
I think Allison Morgan's hard to see if she got this. And from our angle, we have zero chance to see. It's blocked. To me, it looked like it might have been a second bounce. But that's a tough one. The umpire's got to call that. But either way, they come up with a point. Great shot there with a waterfall.
I think Elliott just scooped her paddle right underneath it before it bounced twice.
Yeah, and along with having one of the best serves in terms of your opponents don't drive it that much, and that's what Lynn Burus has. Their opponents do not drive her serve that much. She does have, she does have games where she throws in a couple of faults. All right, so there you have it. That result is in 6-2, 6-3 for Lopez and Page against Hannes and Sabori. So a tremendous breakthrough win for those guys.
Wow. That's big.
They are in the finals. Whoever wins this match will be playing them tomorrow morning.
I'm lucky enough to be calling that, so I'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah, you should. That's going to be a great matchup, and that'll be probably around 10:30, 11 tomorrow. I think it's scheduled for 10:30. We'll see how it all plays out with the incoming storm and all that jazz. Yeah, so tomorrow we got men's semis early, and around 9 o'clock, women's semis, women's final right after that, and then the men's final. And then, of course, what are you doing for the Super Bowl, Denise?
Woo-hoo. Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot.
I'm bringing a bunch of firewood in, and we're going to just sit by the fire and put it on the screen and, have a nice chill Super Bowl.
Well, I like the fact that you're bringing in
the way
the
I like
firewood.
it.
My wife doesn't bring in the firewood. What's up with that? Patty Hogan, always thinking of others, dropping Welch's fruit snacks here for the production crew and for Brad. I guess I'm talking to myself in the third person now.
She's a giver, Patty. She takes care of everybody. All right, this is a big ad for Morgan Sikora here. Down first set, 6-3, 1-0, second set. This could be some wind beneath their wings here for Morgan Sikora if they can get this game.
Yeah, they're battling all this way through.
Yeah, they are.
They've
They're
been
right there.
competing. You know, it's just, that's a half volley. What a great shot. Can she dig this one
Great
out?
shot by Burus. Wow.
Oh, and what a lob she got on it. She gets makes her hit an acrobatic one-hander there. Yeah, see, and this is the athleticism that, you know, Burus and Elliott bring. They just have like that level. They one extra shoelace volley, one more get, right? That kind of thing. Their ability to cover the court is exceptional.
It's a nice overhead by Sikora, really pulling Elliott far into the deuce side with that one.
And that is wide, and great job from Morgan Sikora, evening the score. I'd love to see them get a hold here and play from ahead for the first time in the match. It's only 1-1 here. They've been down the whole way. As we said, they were down like 4-love in that first set, right? Started slow. They've never had a single lead at any moment. If they can get up 2-1, you know, maybe just a little bit of whatever it's going to feel. They're not going to feel it yet at all, you know, Burus and Elliott, but it's going to be a really positive thing for Morgan and Sikora.
I like Morgan Sikora taking this time now to just to connect, to talk over, you know, who knows what strategy, what was working, maybe like building each other up. But I just like that pause to just reconnect and collect themselves. It's all right. That's a rare miss by Sikora on that between overhead. People are getting wild and crazy here, Brad. What's going on? I like that the people cheering.
They are getting a little crazy.
I like it.
And it's not just on the court. I think it's the atmosphere of the whole works.
Yes. Elliott holds that so long. Wow.
Sticks a backhand right into the chest.
I was just going to say, she just holds it so long, you can't see what she's going to do, and B, where it's going. Because she just turns and holds. So that's a tough ball to make for Sikora. Because combine that, not knowing where it's going, with the pace of it.
Oh. And they could have used a little good fortune there. That ball teetered on the top, and it comes back on the other side. Hands on the hips for Charlotte Sikora afterwards. Like, come on now. Give me a little something. All right, so triple break point now. And that push down the middle, she's got to make sure it's right into that is the number one weapon, even though at the forehand, ooh, surprising miss there, you know, for Elliott. But they're making sure, like, how many balls have they even hit near the Burus forehand? They are making sure that the one thing, like, they're not going in there. And Elliott's done some damage, you know, with those shots. All right, 2 break points saved.
That was a nice deep volley by Sikora there.
Yeah, she caught Burus kind of pressing forward with a semi-blitz. I'll say it was a semi-blitz.
Yeah, she was kind of creeping a little bit.
Right. They're staying away from that Burus forehand right now. There's the heavy one. Good cover. Nice volley.
But I almost wish, Brad, that they would go back to the style of play at the end of the first set. They just slowed everything down. It doesn't matter if they were at the net or the baseline. They picked their targets and they were hitting them so well. Like that. I like this. I like this pace. I feel like the faster the pace goes, I feel like it favors Elliott and Burus.
Yeah, I think it probably does. You know, the biggest thing is it was more, they were doing it from the backcourt too. They were starting to hit those 3-quarter drives, mixing in the lobs, and they weren't going for all or nothing haymakers. They have not had, the more they've gone for an all or nothing type of shot, the worse it's gotten. Here, this is nice pace. They are going to have to be careful. Like, you can see Burus looking to creep, and Elliott, but they got Elliott kind of working a little now. Blitz move, but easily transition back from. Good job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but these guys aren't getting baited into anything. There's a look, and now they're going to take the net. They got her
Smart
chasing.
play by Sikora to stay
Oh,
back.
called out.
Really smart. That was a really smart play. But
Big.
see, that's the thing. It's in order to slow it down, Brad, you have to be willing and 100% committed to just be out there for hours and hours and just grind, waiting for the ball, whether it's a short lob that you know you're totally balanced and you know you have them in a certain position, or at the baseline, that ball that's at the right height and right depth that you're going to step in and take. So if Sikora and Morgan can 100% commit to this slower pace, I think they're going to come out. That's going to serve them well.
It'll serve them well. Yeah, we don't know what the
I don't know
result
about the
will be,
overall
but it might be
outcome.
the
Yes.
best chance
stopped
they
myself
have.
there.
It's the best chance they have is really what you're saying. So a great break there from Burus and Elliott. But I agree with you. They're going to have to manage this pace. When it got faster and when she was trying to drive too many things, it definitely was not working in their favor. And it, like we talked about, Burus and Elliott, are not immune to having moments where they go a little south, and you have to give them more chances to miss. Those were good points, though. I like those, and they did a good job getting that back to deuce. So I think they're going to hopefully manage it well in this set. The key is, though, they got to get a hold. They got to get up a game, right? Just make it the other way.
Yep.
Burus and Elliott are great front runners. They'll keep going. If the more they're in front, the more they're going to break out the hard roller, the more they're going to break out the other shots, right? They got to just keep it tight, put the scoreboard pressure on, and go from there. Oh, going soft serve now.
Yep, Macy Elliott serve, Allison Morgan returning and coming in behind that, putting in a little pressure, which I just love. I think that's a great move.
Yeah, she's
Again,
a great
that's
blitzer.
A little probing, rolling forehand just forced Elliott to volley up, and Morgan took advantage of that situation. It's tough.
Not sure what that was. It was like she hit it, she moved in 2 steps, but she wasn't blitzing. I'm not sure what that was. It was like a half of a blitz play. That's a good stick. Morgan's just shoving those short serves.
So good. It's a great angle.
Over the top hard serve, and that's out. All right, a couple of break points. Morgan Sikora. Keep this even.
Great serve by Elliott.
Yeah, she had the first 2 ones attacked and blitzed on by Morgan, so she goes with a hard overhand, even just right after throwing it a fault, so good for her.
Yep. Just got to trust it.
Absolutely.
And she did. That down up. Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one. It's right near the
I
crease.
feel like I'm feeling her pain over there, Morgan. It's like, it's one, it's the second one, third one, fourth one. She did a fantastic job defending that corner.
Well, they're doing an awesome job defending here, and I think this is going to be, like we talked about, a crucial component. The best result they've had so far is defending well, lobbing with some intention, and taking sort of, 3-quarter drives with spots, right, until they get maybe something better to work on. But just that alone has been a good success rate for them. And this is exactly the type of point they're playing right now. At a crucial moment, they need this break. Oh, again, the body blow catches Allison Morgan. Long, low slice into the body.
Yep, that was a great overhead by Elliott.
Man.
She mixed up, again, mixing up the pace and spin.
Curve that
And
right
placement.
in.
Keeps your opponent off balance. That's not easy to do, is to surprise Allison. Wow, great return by Sikora. And there you have it. We're all tied up, Brad, 2-all.
Yeah, it's
Second
great.
set.
I mean, good job. They played perfect points in that. Right counter tempo, 3-quarter drives, look for their moments. Now the key is, can they get a hold? Can they get ahead? Can we make Burus and Elliott feel it a little bit? They've been close, been right there.
Yep. Brad, as you know, we're coming to the end of the season. Next weekend, we've got the Steel City Classic in Pittsburgh, followed by the Indianapolis Open the following weekend, and then boom, we're in Nationals. And I'm excited about the new format for Nationals starting on Thursday, March 6th at 1 o'clock, and culminating Saturday night under the lights with the men's and women's finals. And Sunday is set aside for a rain, if they need it for weather. So it's going to be a great party in Philly at the Philly Cricket Club, who's the host site for Nationals. Looking forward to that.
Absolutely, party in Philly. And, you know, that's good. Nobody does it like Philly does. What's that song?
I don't know. I'm just thinking Philadelphia Freedom, but that's
Philadelphia Freedom. Okay, we'll use that. That works.
That's so old school. I don't even know why that just popped in my head.
Well. All right, so 2-all here. Can they get the break? Can they get ahead for the first time in the match? These guys have been very, very disciplined from the backcourt. They've done a good job, actually, Sikora and Morgan, taking out the Burus forehand, which can be a huge weapon. Most of the offensive damage has been done right there from the, from the Elliott backhand moving to the middle, and it's primarily because they're just not going in.
Yeah.
To the, they're not going into the Burus forehand side very often at all.
No.
So, I mean, I don't know if it's the devil you know, because it's not like Elliott's not doing some damage. He is. Maybe it's just what they think the lesser of two evils is at this point.
I would love to see Sikora take one more step forward. You can read when that drive's coming, and just take one step and just get a little bit lower, 4 inches lower, and leaning into that ball. I don't see her missing one. Her hands are so good.
Yeah, great, hands on that one, just to keep it in the court. I'd actually like to see them play long through the court, deep towards the backhand side of actually Burus a little bit. Let the ball drop a little. They're playing a lot of push middles. And the problem with playing push middles is it's not a problem. It's a good thing. But I'm not sure what happened there.
What just happened there?
Don't know. See what the score is. All right, 15-all.
Okay.
But you dump it down the middle time and time again, you're going to leave one short. And then they're just playing discipline back there, and they're capitalizing on those short balls. If she could let the ball drop, play it longer through the court from back, still give her time to get back to the net. I understand it. The problem is if you don't execute that middle ball, it's really just a thump and drive coming at you. And that one's tough, too. I'm not sure she wants to play that game. You don't want to make, that's what they're doing to you, so maybe you're looking at a turnabout's fair play, but I don't think they want to mix up in that game where she's hitting the hard overhead.
Yeah.
Those guys
I
chase
agree.
well.
And to your point, going to long in the court, meaning like cross court to Lynn's backhand. That's the lowest part of the net, the longest part of the court. And a lot of times through strength, you can find weakness. If you keep that ball medium to firm going to her backhand, you keep it low. You don't know what you're going to find unless you try. So I agree with you. Mixing up your target again, it's just keeping your opponents guessing by the spin, pace, and placement of your overheads. I like that little probing chip by Burus to bring Morgan in.
Yeah, but they've been so disciplined from the backcourt, Burus and Elliott.
Yes.
They really have played. They've taken almost no bad choices. They haven't made every ball, but everything has been just, okay, it's not the one, lob it again.
Mm-hmm.
Not the one, lob it again. Placement, control, intentional shot. Okay, now you're off the net. We got a short ball. Here comes the big hammer, right? And just great. The discipline's been perfect and spot on. Missed that, but I don't have a problem with it.
No, she was moving forward. It's just missed it. Wow, Macy Elliott just missed one.
She did. She missed that one. Hey, look, and I don't think there's going to be a comeback here if these guys are just going to continue to play a perfectly choiced and executed point each time, they're going to need an error or two to capitalize, probably. You know.
Yeah. Yes. But that's what makes Elliott and Burus so tough is they just give out very few freebies. You have to work and or earn and break down them down in order to get a point.
And the more you do that, by the way, the more that you do that means that sometimes you want to try to speed it up. The more you speed it up, though, the better they get.
Yeah.
They're really good chasers. And you try to speed it up, it actually can open up the door for them to have more offense. But then you try to push it, but then they're so disciplined and they're working the ball. So that's why they're the #1 seed. That's why they won 5 tournaments out of 6 this year.
Absolutely. Such a delicate balance. Because playing a team such as Elliott and Burus, #1 in the country, it can a lot of times like pull you out of your own game, like make you feel like you have to like play better than perhaps you like, oh, I need to hit a really amazing overhead, or I need to hit a really, it's like, no, just playing within yourself and making smart choices.
See, that's a perfect point. You know, they just hit 100 lobs, they get the forehand they're looking for, and then she sticks it right through. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep. Here we go. Court audio. Whoa. Oh, spun her around again.
Burus and Elliott. Burus and Elliott lead the second set 3 games to 2. Burus and Elliott won the first set 6 games to 3.
Amazing game by all 4 athletes. Brad, a little word from our sponsor, Corient. Corient is excited to partner with the APTA because, whether as advisors to our members or as members themselves, they are already part of the APTA community. Learn more at www.corient.com, the official wealth sponsor of the APTA.
Hey, how are you?
All right.
It's been a while.
3-2. That was, I'm liking the second set.
Oh, the second set's been great. Really, since it was 4-love in that first set, it's been a nice back-and-forth match. We just haven't seen Morgan and Sikora be able to get over that kind of hump. You know, they had a big moment in that game when they were up 15-40 and had a couple of break points to break it to 5-4. Now, of course, they're still down a break, and they got to hold to stay in it. But they've been able to break. The real issues, they just have not been able to hold at all. You know, today the returns have just been too good, and the backcourt play, you know, from Burus and Elliott has just been really, really disciplined. You know, so they're just playing solid, you know, solid paddle. And then they're finding their moment to go for like a moment where they can make, you know, Charlotte Sikora twist around, you know, here and there. It's just like a little bit. It's so close, though. Anything can tip the scales a little bit. Like if all of a sudden Burus and Elliott lose discipline or they start faulting 2 or 3 times. They've been able to break those, Sikora and Morgan. And they've been doing it every point in time. They've been down every single game. I don't think we've had a hold yet this set. I think it's been break, break, break.
I love all the little steps. If you notice, they're pointing out little things like the person not hitting the ball at the baseline is moving just as much as the person that's hitting. It's called like doing such a great job of balancing the court based on where your partner is and the shot that she's choosing to hit.
Kind of a half a blitz there.
Yeah.
Then she gets the low ball.
Little late.
Yeah, and to me, she gets the low ball and she's deciding, okay, is this something to go for? And then she kind of goes for it, but she hasn't really committed to the shot at all. Tough one.
30 love.
It's just such a great serve. Burus, just that angle she gets wide.
Yeah, it's a heavy bouncer.
Yeah.
And the reality is, few of the women are hitting it. So, you know, it's not seen by everyone. I'm surprised, actually, we don't see more of it from more players. You know, both Burus and Elliott, they have both actually have pretty challenging serve.
40 love.
They get good leg drive up into it. They push off up and in. They're accelerating the paddle. They're hitting it hard. They're not pushing it in the box. The paddle head's rolling up and over it, creating a little more bounce, a little topspin to the ball. It's going to kick out some.
Game,
Oof.
Burus.
That was a tough game there. They just, to
Burus
me,
and Elliott
Very
lead
fast.
the
well,
second
very
set,
fast, but
4
also
games
very
to 2.
out of what they needed to do, meaning we had talked about it. Play the right lobs, 3/4 drives, go in there. That was 3 blitzes and a big return, and see ya, right? You know, like, but blitzes from not commanding blitzes where they set it up, right? It's just, we're going. See, look at that discipline. I mean, she hasn't been seeing a ton of forehands, Burus, but she doesn't like the look. She's not really looking to drive it. It's a very drivable ball,
Oh,
but
yeah,
she's
she
not
took 2
pressing
steps in the
it.
blue.
She's not pressing
Yep.
it. She just said, okay, I'll just lob it. And that's the discipline. They're just money today with this discipline. They're just staying in the right patterns. And the only
What's
ones.
so great about Burus passing on that drive, too, is that a lot of times, you know, Morgan Sikora might be thinking, uh-oh, we just hit that short to her forehand. They take a step up, so that's going to make Burus's lob that much more effective because the net team is perhaps expecting a drive, you know? So then maybe that next ball is the one that's going to give her the look she wants because now she's set, she's anticipated, she's probably ready and balanced. So I always say just because you can doesn't mean you should with a drive.
Yep, no, you're absolutely right. Great close.
Wow.
Oh,
Just out.
called out and confirmed that's a bad luck, bad break. They could use a couple of those right now. She stuck
know.
it good.
Left 15.
Top of the net and just flies out. That's a killer when you hit that. You feel like you hit a good drive, and sometimes it just feels like things are going against you. They need this hold. That one's long.
It's a great serve by Sikora. You know, to your point, you know, when we mentioned about going big or softer, I mean, she's serving with the same motion, Brad, Sikora is, but with Elliott, she's kind of going off pace. And against Burus, she's really lighting it up. So you can't really tell what you're going to get until it's actually coming.
One of the things I'd like to see, though, I think for Sikora and Morgan down the road, is a little better balance. And when I was saying that, you know, Allison Morgan has, you know, hasn't made many bad choices or bad anything, but she hasn't really done anything either. You know what I mean? Like, she's not enforcing play. We're not going, oh, Allison Morgan hit the drive, right? And Allison Morgan. It's a little bit more like all the offense is running through Sikora, like almost all of it, and all the defense is running through Morgan. And I'd love to see them close whatever that gap is. You know, I don't know if you see it that way, but to me, that's what it looks like. You know, Morgan's not hitting any drives that are impactful. She's not making blitz forays, right?
I would like to see Morgan blitz more, but I feel like we've seen a little more offensive action from Morgan since she slid over to the deuce side. She's been, you know, she's had some making her backhand presence known with her drive. But I agree, in general, I 100% agree with your comment. Allison's more of we're going to do some probing stuff, really kind of play with their positioning. And look to set up Sikora for sure.
Yeah, and I'm okay with
That's
that.
a great volley.
But it just seems like all of it's coming one direction. You know, it's all one directional at this point. I mean, it can be that her offense is doing that. Then they just got to find a way to impact it a little bit. But ultimately, right now, there's just been very few windows. And this is a moment. They got 30-15. They have not had a hold yet, I don't believe. Maybe they had one in their mini comeback from 4-love down. But that's the only one. They've not been able to hold serve. And the backcourt discipline from Burus and Elliott has just been so good. You know, they're just waiting their moment, taking the right strike. And it's tough because if they try to speed it up and go for the nick, they're running the risk of letting them have a screen drive with them moving forward. And then they're just picking apart with drives.
Yeah, Burus and Elliott both look very comfortable right now. They look like they could just stay out there forever.
30 all.
I mean, they're flowing through the shot. They're not, to your point, they're not rushing anything, and they're really waiting for the right moment to strike, or striking meaning either blitzing or hitting a drive.
Yeah,
So
there's
really solid play from Burus and Elliott.
it's a perfect example in that last point. You know,
Yes.
Just back and forth, back and forth. No one's doing anything specifically wrong. That's long.
40,
They'll take
30.
that. That's a huge moment. They got a game
Okay.
point here. They've been able to break back a number of times to even this thing. Just haven't been able to hold or consolidate. Here's just a chance for a hold.
It's a great return and great volley by Sikora.
Yeah, a couple of huge volleys there. She
Big.
lit up that forehand. All right, great hold there from
Okay.
Sikora and Morgan.
Sikora.
And that's to our point, Brad. I mean, that's the,
That's Burus. Elliott.
all of a
4,
sudden, Burus,
Morgan
like,
Sikora,
that's
3.
uncharacteristic of her to set up and kind of, she was not balanced. That ball was way too close to her body, and she was just trying
Burus
to make
and
too
Elliott
much out
won
of
the
that
first
shot.
set 6 games to 3.
Yeah, it's one of the first times they've pressed a point.
Literally
and they come up with
first.
the errors. And no, they've been super disciplined back there, and that's a
Yes.
huge moment for them. And now Morgan Sikora, like, to me, they couldn't afford it to go down 5-2 there. But, you know, huge kudos to them. But what they're doing, though, is they are competing all the way through, you know, Morgan and Sikora. It's great. You know, so if they can get this thing to get close, like, you know, get the break here, make this 4-all.
Absolutely. I want to take this moment just to thank all the people involved, the Short Hills Club and all the clubs that donated their courts and all the volunteers that made this happen. Tournament director Brian Skinner, thank you for all your time. And a big shout out to just the APTA in general. Karen Najedlik, Patty Hogan, Jackie Cameron, Cindy Haber, the list goes on and on. But big thank you for all the people who just make this happen on the day-to-day. And, you know, the day of, everybody comes, has a great time, spectators, players alike, viewers for the live stream. It's just a really fun event to be at. That's a phenomenal get.
I think she was surprised she got it back. She looked almost, she almost missed that next ball burst. And Morgan was completely, you know, confused on that. She played it all wrong, but she's able to have the athleticism. And the racket's able to flip it back over her head.
It's a great first point in the 8th game here. Wow, that's big. Little fist pump from Sikora.
Yeah, they should take it because that's the shot I want to see them try to make, you know, make her hit those backhand screens. If you could make Burus beat you with that, you're doing the right thing because that, I don't see her beat anyone with that really yet. You know, like it's just hard to get it there because of how athletic they are. All right, this is starting to speed up. I love this.
So smart for Sikora to stay back momentarily to wait to see what Elliott's response will be, and then cruises right in when she sees the lob. So smart.
It's great play on the crease. She's
Yep.
going after it, one after another.
Really nice, smart play. Sikora looks really nice and set, very balanced on her overheads. And it's interesting, Brad, they are playing this differently with the switch, you know, Elliott on the ad side and Burus on the deuce. When they switch, they start placing the balls in different spots based on where the players were. So very smart.
All right, they're getting a couple of errors now from Burus and Elliott creeping in. Got to seize this moment. 2 points
You
away
see
from
Elliott.
tying it up.
Yep. You see Elliott serving. Allison Morgan just returned.
Love 40.
And Sikora coming in behind Morgan's dipping return. That's a great one, too. I don't think Elliott's missing that volley if Sikora wasn't coming in like that. Just that adds another layer of difficulty.
All right, she thought she'd catch her there, fading away, like a little surprise, quick little drive. She was there. No room to hit it. All right, 1 break point saved. Great serve.
40.
A big serve from Elliott.
Great serve.
I love seeing players just go after their serve. It's just with 100% conviction and confidence.
Yeah, 2 huge serves at break point down.
Yeah, that's tough. That's when most players end up perhaps taking a little off or playing it safe, and she's just like, no, I believe in the shot. I'm going to pull it out right now.
Switching at the net there to get Burus on the left to take a few more of these overheads. Oh, nice controlled lob there. Good third panel smash. Gonna go roller.
That's a tough ball. Sikora did a
And-
great job navigating that first ball. Second one was tough.
You notice the combinations they're using there. They're all going back. 1-1. Third panel smash to move her in there. She hits a short lob. Hard one right back towards the body. They get it to deuce.
Yeah, that third panel slam just has so much carry, and it pulls that player so far out of position. Such a great shot to implement.
Ooh. Almost ran a little confusion. All right.
Yes.
Seemed to righted it.
That's a good recovery there.
Advantage, Elliott.
I think she forced that a little. It's the
did.
pressure they're putting.
Yeah, I'm just looking at her feet. I would love to see that just stepping in as she's hitting that ball instead of waiting for it to come to her.
Deuce. Let me know when you guys want the heaters on.
Okay. You can hear there from the umpire. Let them know if they want the heaters on. That means there's some precipitation starting to fall. We're inside here.
Yep, just super light.
Yeah, it's just starting to
At
come
the
a little
moment.
bit. Ooh. They're hitting right at the crease. Got to chase again. They go right back over the top. Good
Nice.
cover. Yeah,
I
good.
like how Sikora deferred to the team there, knowing Morgan's going to be there to cover that ball coming out. Really smart. Nice
Oh, that's
get by
What a
Morgan.
lob. She's got to start hitting some of those down the line behind them. They're looking to chase. They're going to the middle every time. She's got to pull that thing behind because she's really cutting off those volleys.
Really good lobs from Morgan. Consecutively pulling one or both feet beyond the service line.
Oh, this is a
Can't ask for much more than that.
perfect point. And I love the way these guys are reading it. It's
Look out.
again,
Nice.
but it's falling into that zone where, oh,
Hard.
such a good
Elliott.
point where they take it and creep it up the line. But that's exactly the point that Morgan and Sikora want to play.
Yep. Solid play by all four. But that fantastic overhead to finish it. Just going for the nick.
Nice blitz move. I like the play. A really good first volley. Switch at the net. Yeah, they really want Burus doing that attacking overhead. Oh. Let it go. Yep. That's it. She got too greedy with
Elliott
that
reverse
lob. She saw
in
the play
second
shift
set,
one direction.
5 games to 3.
That was a big moment. That was a love 40 game there for
Yes.
Morgan and Sikora. Tough, but she came up with big serves in big moments. I say the last point they played was great, but they gave back one, but still, they keep battling. All right, they got to serve the hold in here now.
I like it. They're fighters. They'll keep the fight going here. And I know Elliott and Burus are as well. They're not planning on letting out anytime soon.
Well, Burus Elliott, they threw in a couple of errors in the last game out here where they were able to get that hold, Morgan and Sikora. They actually missed a couple of drives. Then they played a little extra pressure on one last ball. But barring one or two of these things, they've really been, like we keep kind of banging on the drum, but they've just been so disciplined back here. It's so tough for Morgan and Sikora to win a point at the net because they're just not missing that much. They're not making bad choices.
They're starting to mix up their targets a little bit more in a high percentage way, which is good.
Yeah, it's not just the push overhead down the middle where she can start to load up for it. They're holding it, pushing it through the court a little bit more, working it into the Burus backhand. And even that ball there is straight to her backhand. That's the one they think they don't want to do. They don't want this. But good job making positioning and good volleys.
Great drives, great volleys.
Yeah, they don't want the Burus forehand in the middle. Oh!
Wow, what the heck?
What the heck?
Elliott.
It's getting crazy out there. It's just getting wild out there, Denise. Yeah, it's a great play off the crease.
Like, just beelines right out of there, and Elliott handled it with ease. It's pretty cool. Yes, that's a great shift in positioning with Morgan. She was in position well before Elliott even hit that drive.
That's out.
That's a
Misses
really
it
great
wide.
point.
Great point.
All four players are really digging in here. Obviously, there's a sense of urgency with Morgan Sikora, given they're down 6-3, 5-3, but at the same time, they're willing to just grind it out. They're not letting that sense dictate their pace of play, and you don't see the urgency in their shot selection right now, which I guess is the point.
No, they're battling beautifully.
Yeah, I like this little adjustment. When they get these medium to short lobs, they're making different choices, and I like it. They're keeping them off balance a little bit.
Yeah, they're starting to dry up that Elliott backhand in the middle, and that's huge.
30-15.
Morgan making positioning where she wanted to be. She steps up. And
there you go. Yep.
That's a good.
You're right on top so she can volley down.
Yeah, you always want to reinforce what you wanted it to look like or feel like or position. You know, so that's good. She's burning that in her brain, so the next time she'll get in. She'll step up a little bit further.
Yeah, that's a great shot there. They're going into the backhand of Burus.
Yep.
And Burus is not a player who moves up the side wire a lot, you know, so there is some safety there. She's not looking to climb up that side wire, so move over a little. Oh!
I mean,
tough.
A lot of net cords from Morgan Sikora, and I believe one of them has gone over.
Tough one.
That's all right.
All right, 30 all.
Threading the needle a little bit too close there.
Ooh, that was a sneaky
Great
little.
dig by Elliott. Yes.
Sneaky little overhead there. that. You can see the targets are changing for him. More intentional. I love it. That's it. Well done.
That ball.
Got her to chase. Huge.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, Denise, it's so much more intentional now, the thought process.
Yes.
They spent all this time just dumping it down the middle, and Elliott would step up and just be crushing backhands at some point in time. Now they're specifically just working the ball straight into the Burus backhand. 1, 2, 3. Then they'll take 1 or 2 to the other side here or there, but mostly when they're picking their spot right there on the single sideline or just inside. And, you know, ooh. Let court serve there, but handled by Burus. And they're just going in there, and they're going to make you beat her with the backhand. And, you know, Burus is staying disciplined.
Definitely. And
But they're not giving her anything on the forehand side, and they're working her. So, and by
Absolutely.
And by you know, stuffing her in there more, they're taking the middle out of play. You know, meaning like she can't get over there to get it. I'm surprised Elliott's not trying to take a little more center here.
Well, when Elliott does creep over a little bit too far, that's when Sikora or Morgan, you know, kind of just pokes it over there in the corner.
Right, like that. Yep, just like that.
Like just to keep her honest, like, hey, you stay over there.
No, this
I
is
see you.
much, much better, and you can see how it's working, actually. You know, they got a game point here on their service game. We're able to hold the last one. So just kudos to them. Starting to think about where they want to place this overhead. And it's doing two things. It's kind of making Burus beat her with the less desirable shot. You know, in fact, the matches she wins with beating people with her backhand, you know, she beats you with a forehand and the athleticism. And that's just a great stab, drop, volley.
Morgan.
Very disciplined, Brad.
Hanging around, Denise.
4.
Yep.
Burus Elliott won the first set.
I like it. I mean, it's never too late. What I love about this, I don't know why, but, you know, 3-5, some teams just crumble and they're like, oh, boy. I mean, Morgan Sikora just implemented a new strategy late in the second set, and it's working really well.
Yeah, it's
kudos to them for continuing to problem solve and troubleshoot. Like, okay, what else can we do? Okay, let's try this. And then, boom, we're on to something. Let's keep doing this. And it's working really, really brilliantly. So
it's absolutely the move, and it's a great job for them. And we were talking about it a little bit before, you know, saying get that ball deep through the court into that single sideline area towards there and make it play towards the Burus backhand. And from that moment on, they've had 2 holds, right? So, you know, great job for them. Like you said, problem solve all the way through, because it doesn't take much to flip a match. One shift of momentum, take away one way your opponents are winning points. If they're winning points with Elliott smashing backhands in the middle, I don't care when she does it or how she does it, just take it out, right?
Absolutely.
It's making all the difference. Because I don't see the discipline changing from Burus and Elliott. I see the looks changing for them. They're still playing disciplined, you know.
Incredibly disciplined.
And if they don't hold here, it's going to be interesting to see, because the move next might be, okay, Burus has to start creeping up the side wire, and Elliott has to sneak to the middle, help out a little bit, but watch out for the ball going behind her. And then, but they're going to have to lob it well to that, so they look for those right opportunities. They might actually have to make it that's the one they don't want.
Yeah.
Because they got to get this break here just to stay in it.
Feet were parallel. Again, that was a parallel move instead of an imposing move.
Yep. Smart to lob that. Too good.
Great lob by Sikora coming out the ad side. Burus handed it beautifully.
Oh, good. They got her stretched.
Boom.
Oh, too good.
Great move. Awesome volley by Elliott, keeping that ball alive there. Get the whole court to cover momentarily with that volley.
Did you see that? What the move was there, though? As soon as that short one went up there, Sikora went up the side wire to protect against a hard ball. She left the entire backcourt for Morgan, and Morgan got that. So great play there. All right, 15
Very
all.
smart adjustment.
Oh,
30-15.
too bad. 3-quarter drive. We've been
Yep.
liking those. Just missed it. All right.
40-15.
And here it is.
Serve.
2 match points for Burus and Elliott. Lynn Burus serving. Conservative return there for Morgan. Smart. Don't want to put all your eggs in that one basket. Let's just play this good backcourt point. And there's a waterfall
There it
right
is.
in the
Burus and
crease to
Elliott
finish it,
win the
Denise.
match. 6-3.
Great match.
6-4.
Really good match, Brad. I mean, Burus and Elliott, you know,
Thank you.
champions,
Thank you.
#1 nationally. They were right in alignment with how they played and will continue to play. They're just incredibly disciplined, calculated, and just get the job done. At the end of the day, they just make fewer errors and really make the opponents work. But to Sikora and Morgan's, you know, little pat them on the back, they did a fantastic job of strategizing and problem solving and really making adjustments throughout this match. And they were right there. Other than the first half of the first set, they were in every single game. And but Burus and Elliott were just too much on this given day. So great playing by all four players.
Yeah, it was a great battle, and we'll see everyone tomorrow, 9 a.m. for the men's semifinals, followed by the women's finals, and then the men's final after that. Everybody weather the storm tonight. Looks like a little something coming in. And we'll see everybody in the morning. That was a pleasure, Denise, calling that with you. And that is a wrap here, and we'll see everybody tomorrow morning.
Thanks so much, Brad. It's a pleasure.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Historically, Glen Oak is a golf-only club, but they wanted to add an extra amenity, and Glen Ellen has a huge community for paddle. We were lucky to pull 200 players from the Glen Ellen community.
Many members had played at the Glen Ellen Park District.
We were able to get a bunch of teams going, kind of right off the bat.
The facility has been an amazing addition to Glen Oak. It's really brought a lot of new ladies to the sport.
And it's not only the courts, but this beautiful paddle hut.
Having a place to hang out, relax, catch a game, as well as come and play paddle with your friends has been a huge attraction. As you come up the ramp to the sports complex, the first thing that you're gonna see is that large outdoor patio.
There's a fireplace out here on the main level.
You can drink and eat with your friends, as well as look out to the 9th hole where you can watch some golfers come through during the right seasons. As you head inside, you'll walk into our large lounge space and dining area.
There's a really long bar with beautiful light fixtures. There's made-to-order food.
We got a great bar staff, great restaurant.
You can get quesadillas and burgers. The ribs are awesome here.
We have a ton of bar seating and lounge seating. We have our hubby area where you can store all of your belongings, 4 TVs, an indoor fireplace.
It's a great place to come on a Friday night just to hang out.
Bring the kids down. It's very family-friendly, so we've brought our families in on Sundays and kind of been teaching them the game.
Downstairs, you're gonna see a fully stocked bar, as well as 3 golf simulators, and our second outdoor patio, where you can hang out by our fire pit and enjoy the evening after you played. The membership loves the full year-round rackets operation.
There's a lot of different opportunities for all levels. We have children's programs,
Couples paddle.
mixers.
Our other friends over at the Park District, we've invited them. We actually tend to call it the vortex sometimes. We'll come down here and we're all getting together and having so much fun, nobody ever wants to leave. So it's really been great.
We are at Glen Oak Country Club, and this is the APTA Hut of the Month.
Who is the player with the best serve?
We're going to go Tyler Fraser.
Best serve, Fraser.
Sven Burus.
Well, I just had to deal with Sven Burus, so he's definitely up there.
Player with the best cutter.
Me.
Guillermo Nunez or Johan Duran. My partner at West.
Tyler Fraser, without a doubt.
Dan Hansen.
Guillermo Nunez. I gotta say Dan Hansen is just filthy.
Next question.
Best roller.
Either Albi or Jose.
I'm gonna pick my homeboy Russell Denkham on that one.
Myself.
Johan Duran. Jose Salazar.
Jose Salazar.
Gabby Nicoleska. Best roller, Macy.
Best drive.
Albi Regalado.
Jose Salazar.
Mark Powers.
I like runs in there.
Mike Wagner backhand. Johan forehand. Best drive. Johan Durant.
Best blitz.
Philippe Rams.
Philippe.
Albi. Johan Durant. Probably Guille or McNerney. Guille. Guillermo Nunez.
Me.
Best volley.
Durant. Johan. Albi.
Guillermo Nunez.
Guillermo Nunez. Guillermo Nunez.
Powers. I think it's one of the best on all of them. Mark Powers' volley is unbelievable. I don't think he gets enough credit for how good of a volley he is.
Best overhead.
Guille. I mean, we've got to go with Guy Nunez on that one. Powers.
Juan Araya.
Tyler Frazier. Johan Durant. Durant.
And best competitor.
Adam Morgan. Adam Morgan.
Me.
Mark Powers.
I think I'm going to give that one to Guy Nunez too.
Albi. I'm going to put myself on that one.